Welcome to the Experiment podcast, where we talk about life and business and how they daily intersect. I'm your host, Laura Dowdy. Let's get to some real talk. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Welcome back to the Experiment podcast. Today, we're talking a little truth. We're talking about bucket lists, resolutions, what I like to call my inspiration plan. A little fun and a little serious. Inspiration and plan. We're right at the end of 2020, and raise your hand if 2020 looked anything like you thought it would this time last year. Yeah, no, none of us did. I get it. I never would have guessed that this is what we were headed into. But here's the thing, y'all. When you are open to whatever the day brings with some sense of a plan based on what I call the 5 criteria, which are family, physical, spiritual, financial, and education. Those are the 5 areas that I work on for myself when I'm planning my day, my month, my quarter, my year. And it's also what I teach when I'm coaching my clients to focus on those 5 areas. And as I've said before in previous podcasts, the truth is, in order to have balance, the only way to have true balance is to focus on 2 to 3 of those as your priority. So what you can do is, again, clearly, I would hope that having spent as much time as we all have to, in our houses, in the stay home orders that we've had in various degrees across the United States, I hope that your family is really, in a top, 8, 9, 10 bracket. Hopefully you haven't killed each other by now. And maybe the physical was doing great in the beginning because we were still allowed to go to gyms for a while, and then we weren't, and then you had to recreate that. So hopefully your physical is okay. And clearly, please, your spiritual is up there, because we have all probably turned to our spiritual aspect of our life more than we ever have at any point of our existence. My point being that if you have areas that you feel like you've worked really hard on, then you can kind of move those to the side. And let's say, financially, year has been really tough for a lot of people. And maybe you've had time to go online and learn new things, but maybe you haven't. Maybe you were busy homeschooling your kids, actually trying to keep yourself afloat, whatever the situation was. So maybe your education piece of, the balance part of you needs a little work. My point being is that take those 5 areas and rank them. How do you feel about them now at the end of 2020? Forget what we expected it to be, but how do you feel about them now? Give them a rank of 1 to 10, of course, 1 being really crappy and 10 being you got it. Take the ones that are important to you, because maybe education isn't important to you. It always is for me. I have a thing called ABL, always be learning. And just like there's a thing, ABS, always be selling. So whatever little acronym you want to use. But for me, these 5 areas will help you check mark each day as to how you're moving along. Because as I said in Sunday's podcast, it is about your daily habits. So if you write these 5 things down, figure out which one are your top 3 most important for you to focus on. And then, like I said, every quarter you can readjust. So maybe, like I said, you want to, because your family is doing great right now, and let's just say come March, we open up, then maybe you want to, spend a little more time with work and things like that. So balance out what it is that will help you build those areas of your life to the level that you feel are successful. And I want to be very clear about that. You get to decide what success looks like for you. If you feel like rah rah, sis boom bah, the 5 a.m. club is everything, then by all means, have at it. I also work with mentors and coaches that while they do get up early, maybe not 5 o'clock, maybe around 7, they really do not start their day until 12 because they mentally and emotionally are not their best self until, say, mid-afternoon. And I'm not talking about 2 or 3. And it's not because they've stayed out late. It's not because they're a slacker. It's because they understand when they perform their best. So instead of conforming to guru, cliche ideas of how you're supposed to live your life, decide for yourself what feels best for you with integrity for you to attain and achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. And of course, they should stretch you. Of course, they should feel a little bit uncomfortable. But as again, in my previous podcast, inspired action is so much more productive and so requires such less effort than responsible action. So my point being that you don't need to worry about societal norms, worry about or focus on, put energy, good positive energy towards what you feel you need to get to those goals. I know how hard it is, especially with social media. Again, partly why I am so grateful that I took a month off, that it's hard to keep those blinders on. It's hard, even though you may be massively confident in everything that you do and very grounded. It's just natural. Like I said, scrolling through there, getting a number of likes, all of those things are a dopamine hit for us. It's a source of validation, and zero judgment from me, but I can tell you, I understand that there is a game, and I'm not talking Matrix, I don't want to go there with anybody, that we're all playing, and it's the game of business. And we're trying to act like that being on Instagram is a natural thing. Being on Facebook is a natural, it's not, you guys. It's not. So I don't know why it's bad when I want to say, hey, anybody out there want help with coaching? But yet I'm supposed to do it from an authentic way. You know what? I just want to know, do you guys want some help? I don't want to maneuver or manipulate into your DMs or whatever to say, hey, maybe, hey, I liked your post today. And then 3 comments later, you decide to reach, like, come on. You either want the services that I have or you don't. There's no hidden agenda. And I think the more authentic and more transparent that we become, and I hope that 2020 has taught us that all of this other doesn't matter. Just be you, just be real, just be you. And listen, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm cool with that. I'm from the South. You know, my one, like, well, I have lots, but my biggest thing is, look, I cuss. I don't cuss on here, but when I'm around, I know like, I don't do it around my mom. Well, sometimes I do and she gets upset, but hey, just do you, and in that process, you will be inspired to make a difference. I know that when I'm providing my coaching services and when I'm interacting with people, that I can make a difference in their life. And I don't say that with any arrogance, or I'm not boasting. I'm saying that because I care and I want to make a difference in their life, because I have learned a lot of things the hard way. And I also learned a lot of things from people along the way that helped me quantum leap in my own career. So I want to give that back, because I think for some of us, this year has felt a little bit about just surviving. And I don't want any of us to get caught in that loop. 2021 needs to be about, how do I thrive? How do I take, my family, my physical, my spiritual, my financial, and my education to the next level? How can I improve it just a little bit more so that every day that you are blessed to open up your eyes and take a breath of air into your lungs, you can give back not only to yourself and your purpose for being here, but also to those that you impact every day. So, what is your inspiration plan for 2021? Let me give you a couple of questions. And again, feel free to reach out to me. You can comment below how, what your action plan is, what your inspiration action plan is for 2021. You can also reach out to me and ask me, hey, what is this, financial, physical, blah, blah, blah thing you're talking about? And how can I use that tool to help you to get to where you want to go in 2021? So feel free. I'm happy to give it to you. It's easy to access, but let me just give you a couple of the questions. Have, 3 goals in all 5 areas, and goals should be quantifiable. I don't want to get into the measurement part of it. Again, I don't want to try to put a box around how you are to do this, but definitely a date and how. What are the incremental ways that you're going to be able to attain that goal? Be accountable. Don't just say, I want, $100,000. Okay, well, by when and how are you going to do it? How much are you going to do each day? What actions are you going to incorporate in each day to get to that? So here is how you can go through those 5 areas. Here's just a few questions. I actually have a lot of questions that I ask to drill down, but in all 5 of those areas, here's just 3 basic questions that will help you to start to assess what you need to do. So again, let's just talk about family. Where are you now versus your desired outcome? Rate that. How will you feel when you have your goal? Write that down. And again, we're talking about family. So you would turn around and take family and do your financial. Where are you now versus your desired outcome? How will you feel when you have it? The third question is, how will you know when you have it? So again, in each area, you need to decide what that goal is and answer all of these questions in all 5 areas. Some people think it's just answering the questions, but this is the way that you drill down and really flesh out what it is that you really want. And one really crucial question, I'll give you a little bonus here, is why do you want it? Sometimes we have these ideas of things that we want and we don't even know where it came from. We just don't question it because it sounds good. And maybe other people think that's what we're supposed to do or supposed to have. And maybe it's not really ours. Maybe we don't really own it. There you have it. Thank you so much for joining me today on our 12 doors to 2021. We only have 3 more left. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday is the door that opens to New Year's Day 2021. And we will be out of this and massively inspired to let this year go, no longer deal with all that it has brought us, and truly just look forward. And that's the thing, y'all. It really doesn't matter what the number is at the end of the day. If it's January 1st, 2020, January 1st, 2021, it's really what you make of that moment that you're in. And that is not a cliche. That is 100% up to you. And I wish you all a fantastic New Year's, and that you are massively, massively inspired. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. And we're going to unlock a puzzle tomorrow. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode of the Experiment Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review. And as always, follow me on Instagram at LauraDowdy_LE for live Excellent. Go make a difference, y'all. The world needs you.